Welcome back, everybody. If you're just joining me, we are in the process of restoring this 1946 Gibson Garden Tractor Model D. Not sure what we're going to do tonight. Just getting down to being able to get something going here. So we'll probably be working on this for the next couple days and then getting a video together. So let me go ahead and get started and see kind of what we could get done here in this little bit of time. Alright, so I'm kind of being lazy tonight, but I gotta get out here and get going on this thing. So I think we'll just kind of look for the components that we can take off. Maybe I can get these levers soaking, so that way they'll be nice and free. I also noticed that this unit here is frozen up, so I should probably try to get some grease or something in it to get that moving before we disassemble it. So I guess I can start right here. This cover slips right on out there. Got a bunch of debris and stuff on it. So we'll go ahead and get that going here first. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the good stuff out here and start lubricating some stuff. Pull this all loose, so that's a good sign. So we can get this thing knocked loose. Yeah. We'll just kind of go through and hit everything I know I'm going to be having to take off here. Yeah. All right. Okay, and like that, we are another can down here. Alright, I'm not going to get crazy, but I think I need to try to get the clutch freed up. And just kind of tap on this a little bit, see what happens. There we go. Yeah, I think the other thing we'll try is we'll go ahead and shoot a little grease into the Zerk and see what that'll do. get a battery. Alright. Okay, we've got grease coming out both sides, so that's a good thing. Alright. Might as well do it. Cool. So I'm not a huge fan of using grease to break things free like that. Sometimes it can be more of a hindrance, but this one, because of the pivot point being down there, I'm pretty sure it's stuck down there. So we'll go ahead and kind of wiggle it around a little bit and see what we can get here. I'm going to grab a bar here. Okay, I want to show you this here. So if I grab a bar and put it in here, the house is moving. So what that tells me is that the pedal is what's stuck. And there's a pivot pin for that pedal, and it definitely does look stuck. There's actually a Zerk fitting down there for it too, but the Zerk fitting isn't taking grease. So that's where the issue's at, and that's where I'm going to have to work on. So try a couple things here. Let's try moving it just a little bit more again. Look at that. Oh. And ladies and gentlemen, I think we're free. Alright, so I worked this pedal back and forth a little bit, and now it's almost to the point where it's springing back on its own. So that's a good thing. The next thing I was looking at is the transmission. When I turn this, the drive line's turning, so that's not right. And the transmission's acting really funky. So I think what I want to do, I can't seem to get it to go side by side. So I think I'm going to pull that cover and see what we can inspect in there. So let's go and do that. Alright. So I got the 4 bolts out holding the top down here, and they really weren't on there a whole tight, so I suspect someone's already been in here. Let's see where we're at. Alright, so there's our shifting fork. This has a slide momentum here. A little bit of condensation down in there. The yoke is free though. So yeah, and that's what it was missing, was sliding side by side. It's all gummy in there. That's why it wasn't going into gear. So, yeah. Let me grab a light, see if I can take you guys along here. Alright. So we can see down in there. It's just a lot of moisture down in there. There's a little bit of oil, but yeah, definitely gonna be rebuilding the transmission here. I see a bunch of rust on the gears and stuff and the bars, so not a big deal. It's kind of what I suspected was going on. So at least it's free and not broken. So we're gonna probably go ahead and set that cover back on there, and when we take out the transmission, we know what we're going to be getting into. So should go ahead and do that. I think the next step is I'm going to go ahead and find the plugs and drain the transmission and the rear end, because those need to really drain out for a couple days. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright guys, let's see what we got here. Yikes. I see water. Yeah, all water. Okay, well that's what we got on that one. So let's go ahead and see what we can find in the rear end here. Alright, let's see what's behind door number 2. I don't suspect there should be anything in here because it's much higher. Just oil. Yeah, and I think we will go ahead and let that drain out, even though the oil looks really good. Yeah, why not? Alright, so like I was saying, the oil does not look horrible. And this plug is like halfway up, or a third of the way up on the cover there. So it will need to be vacuum sucked out of there. But regardless, I'm just going to let it drip here, and then I will get out the suction device and get as much of it out as possible. I think the next step is I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can pull this seat off. I'm going to pull the pan off first, and then we'll pull the bracket off. That way it's out of the way, and yeah, we should be in good shape there. Alright, took a little persuasion, but I do believe, yep, we are free. The seat is off. I like my old stretcher here, my crawler. This is my grandfather's, and gosh, I've had it for a few years now, and it's just about ready to give up. Might have to get a new crawler here real soon. So, yeah, just one of the many tools I have that are old. I mean, it is just weak. Not a whole lot left of that. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get that seat spring off. Now, as you can see, one thing I will have to do is re-stretch it here. So I'll have to get something in between it there to push it back out. But we'll go ahead and get it off for now. That'll make it so much easier to get in here and start removing components and stuff. Well, I had a little fun with the jack stands. I pried a bit too hard and slid it off the jack stands. Not a big deal. Nobody got hurt. It's on the ground, so maybe while it's on the ground, I'll go ahead and try to finish getting the seat bracket off. So had a casualty of my oil pan, and that was about it. Alright, here we go. Yeah, so in this situation, I've got the frame laying on the ground now, and that's probably safer anyways. So I'm still not able to get that bolt out for the seat spring. It's probably going to require some heat. So I think what I'm going to do next is go ahead and work on getting levers, and I'd like to get this front attachment arm off of there. So I think that's what we'll do, is go ahead and work on that, see if we can get those knocked loose. Alright, so she's coming along. So I got that, the steering lever off, no problem. Now I'm working on this. I just got all the keepers out, ready to loosen up the castle nuts, and I should be able to take off that whole thing there in the front. And yeah, let's see if we can do it. Alright, let's see if we can set you guys up there. I think I've got all the linkage ready to come off. Go ahead and pull that off. That off. So there's a pin I gotta pull out to be able to pull that arm off. So I'll go ahead and do that now. Let's see what tools I might need. This is off now. Tell you what I'm gonna do. Go ahead and do this wire. I love how they wired these things back in the day. Priceless. I'm gonna have to work that back and forth just a little bit. Yeah. We'll go ahead and do that and see if we can get her off. Alright, as you can see, I got that front attachment lever off. Took an act of God to do it, but I did it. Ended up just removing the whole bracket by itself. The pin's stuck inside there pretty good, but we'll get it out and get her cleaned up. Yeah, so I'm thinking next I may try to go ahead and get that shroud off. That we can get the chain off and see what's up here. Well guys, I'm getting pretty tired for tonight, so I think this is where I'm going to hang my hat and we'll get a fresh start tomorrow. Alright, so it's a couple days later here and I haven't had a chance to get back to this thing yet. And I'm going to go ahead and do that tonight, but before I do that, OCD has kicked in. So the top of my toolbox, all this stuff was in it, and that's just a no-go for me. So yeah, I'm going to sort through this stuff and put back what belongs in there and put other things away for once. So that'll be step number one for tonight. We need to get this cleaned up because this is just no fun. I was looking for something the other night and be darned if I could find it. So yeah, I'm going to start here and then we will get back to this thing. Alright, and like that, look at that. I can actually see the bottom of my toolbox. It's a good thing. It's been a while since I've done that. So now that I've done that, I'll go ahead and reward myself. I'm getting bought some new stuff this week. Got some nail files, which would have been helpful when we were doing with the points on that magneto. So we're stocked up on those. Got a brake bleed kit here, vacuum pump kit. We got something coming up to the channel here. As soon as the weather gets better, we'll be working on that. And I needed that tool for that. Along with this, a remote start switch, so good to have, and then a replacement switch. I'm going to use this on my Farmall Cub. The replacement switch for the Farmall Cub is outrageous. It's almost $60. So we're looking at, you know, $70-ish by the time I get shipping and stuff. So that's all I need, that right there. So that's what's going to get used. So yeah, a couple new toys. So I'm going to get that stuff put away, and then we'll go ahead and figure out what we're going to do on this thing tonight. Alright, so I think what I've decided is I'm going to go ahead and give these a quick wire brush down, just get all the crap and stuff knocked off of them. We'll do this one too. That way they don't get transferred around anymore. Yeah, that one too. So we'll go ahead and start getting these parts cleaned up. How to store them away. Yeah, that's a good spot to start. So I'm going to get a wire brush and kick in on it. Yeah. Nothing big. We are going to clean these, but just getting all the loose stuff off of them. bunch of that. And we are going to clean these parts up further, but I wanted to get all the loose stuff off of them. And we'll do that to the other stuff. And we'll see where we go from there. So I went ahead and wire brushed all the parts that we've taken off here. And I think this is where we're going to start tonight. I'd like to go ahead and get this one stud that we had to tack the backside onto. Go ahead and get that knocked loose. And then a quick question for people. Maybe you've restored one of these tractors. Maybe you wrote down what size bearing or seal was in the front. And I imagine there's probably two different sizes. But I think they're going to be needing to be replaced. Looks like they've been leaking. So if you happen to have those numbers, maybe give me a jingle, let me know, drop it in the comments. I'd greatly appreciate that. So yeah, just keep that in mind. We're going to have to do those down the road. So to get this off, I just put a quick tack, so I should be able to use the angle grinder and just knock that tack down, and then that should come free. So let me go ahead and get set up, and we'll get the tools and get that taken out. Alright, let's go ahead and give this a try. I got the grinding wheel and the grinder here. We got us a dead battery. Alright, like that, we got her out. Still a little rough, and of course my batteries went dead, so I'm going to have to let those charge, and then I'll soften that up a little bit, and then we'll put that away with everything else. So yeah, next time we should touch these, we'll probably work on the bearings and the seals, get the seals replaced. So hopefully we can get a lead on those. We'll get this thing cleaned up, and this won't be a bad restore right here. So let me get a grasp on seeing what we want to do next. I'm going to go ahead and pick up some tools and get some floor space opened up. Alright, so I've kind of cleaned up over here a little bit. I think the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and remove this pin for the steering rod and go ahead and get all this bracketry here off. I think that'll be easy enough to do. You get some good wrenches on there. Yeah, I got room to it now. So I think that'll be it. Yeah, we're going to start stripping this thing down. It's not going to be noticeable before long here. So I think in my last video I was going to take the shroud off, and I've actually got a bolt that's messed up on it. So I'm probably going to have to take off monkey work and stuff first before getting that cover off. So yeah, let me go ahead and get set up, and we'll start right there. Alright, that wasn't too bad. So I got both the pins knocked out of this arm here. Yeah, a lot of play. Be alright. So we'll go ahead and put that to the side, and then I'll go ahead and get set up to get this part off next. Alright, I got the nuts backed off of that. This bracket's loose. So I've had issues with steering on this thing. It was really stiff, and I thought it might have been the front end, but it turns out it's actually this knuckle right here. It's all seized up in there. And it's had a repair already, so it could be that this wasn't repaired right. So that's something we're going to have to work on down the road here. But as for now, we got it off the frame. That's our goal. We'll go ahead and get these pieces put up, and we'll see where we're at. I'd really like to get the rest of the front bar off tonight, and then maybe go ahead and get the hitch assembly off, and maybe the brake lines or the brake linkages. So we'll see. Yeah, let's just continue on. Alright, I really probably should film some of the mechanical side here, but I did get both the brake pedals and what do you call them, rods off this thing. So I'm kind of at a spot here. I'm kind of thinking I'd like to try to go ahead and remove the rear end next. That'll free up a lot of stuff there, because then I can work on getting the transmission removed and just kind of work my way up. So maybe that's what I'm going to go ahead and do next. Let me see if I can find the tools and see what the chances are that I get those bolts broken loose fairly easily. Alright, get you guys caught up here. So I've got the back axle unbolted. It's pressured in there, so I'm going to have to use a pry bar now and get in there and wedge it out. So it's about ready to come out, and that'll be great. Get that out of the way. So I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, I think we're there. Alright, not my most cleanest executed plan, but the rear end is out. I really should have taken off the rear attachment bar first, but I guess this is proof that if you ever had to do this, you can go ahead and get the rear end out without doing that. Yeah, not fun. We're going to keep a note of that. We're going to put this thing back together. Definitely the rear end will go in first. So I'm going to go ahead and finagle that out of the way. And then, guess what? I'm going to have to go ahead and take that rear bar off. That way I can get this thing up on jack stick. Alright, so like that, I think I'm done for the evening. I'm going to have to cut some bolts out. They got heavy keepers in them. So yeah, we'll get a fresh start in the morning, and we'll call that good. So I'm glad to be able to get that down. Once we get the back bar off there, we should be able to unbolt the transmission and get that out of there, and then it'll really come together. Then I could probably go ahead and turn it upside down and get the pulley system off there and the axle off there. And we're going to get this thing down to a frame, and then we can start cleaning up parts, and this thing should go back together fairly good. I'm getting excited, so stay tuned. Alright, good morning guys. Next day here. We are ready to continue on this restoration of this tractor here. I think before we get going, I'm going to go ahead and pick up tools, get stuff cleaned up, and then the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and finish up this hub now that my batteries are charged. And they were actually charged last night. I just was busy pulling out that rear end. So we'll go ahead and get this finished up. That way we can set it aside. And then we'll assess where we're at. I'm pretty sure what we're going to be tackling today is going ahead and getting the transmission out of this unit. I'd like to get the transmission out and maybe the clutch assembly off of there, front end off of there. Get it down to the frame. If we can get that thing down to the frame, we're going to be doing really good. Yeah, and then I'd like to get the transmission gone through probably first, because it's rusted up pretty good in there. It's all free, but it's just got corrosion and stuff. So we'll get that gone through, get the parts washer out and clean stuff and assess it and stuff. So that's where we're at. Let's go ahead and continue on. Safety's on here. We're just going to clean up the rest of this little tack. Alright, I think that'll work. I got it all out of there, cleaned up fairly well, so we'll go ahead and let that ride. Alright, I'm real close to having the rear lift plate off of this thing. I've got heavy wire on both sides and they're just not coming out, so I'm going to go ahead and take that cutting wheel and buzz them off and get that, and then I think I can get those pins out, and then that whole thing should come off, and that'll be that much less we have to worry about. Alright, it is off. So the next thing, I have located the king pin or master link on the chain. So I'm going to go ahead and take that chain off. Yeah, and then we'll go ahead and take the linkage off for the clutch and see if we can get that unit out of there. Alright, we are cruising right along. I believe I've got this loose. Yep. Ta-da, that's off there. I'll set it over here. Cool. Alright, what's next? Oh. Now I can get to that bolt and maybe get this shroud off. That's what's next. Alright, we're getting down there now. Alright, I think the transmission is next. Looking forward to this. It's going to be fun. So, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. Alright, we're getting down there. Took a little bit of a break. Came out and thought, let's go ahead and get that front end off. Having issues getting transmission bolts out. There's just not a whole lot of room to work. So, I think by doing this, we're getting really close to being able to get her in half. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get this up on the table and turn it upside down and see if I can drift that pin out. Alright, we got her up on the table. I think the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and loosen up these two hold pins, and then maybe that whole thing will slide out. Yeah. Let's see. I'm out of penetrating oil. Oh, look at that. Nice and loose. Some of the stuff I'm thinking that somebody's already tried to, obviously they've done some repairs, but they've already taken some stuff apart. There's some bolts that just aren't very tight, and then other ones that are, oh, well, let's just say we're having a lot of fun getting out. So. That one's good too. Thinking I might take that grease zerk at the end out too, so we can just beat all this out. Yeah, I'm thinking that'd be the smart thing to do. Like about 3/8 inch. And 7/16 inch. Alright. Anybody want to take any bets that this pin's just going to drift right on out? Boy, look at that. It slid over. Got a good 1/4 inch there. So, I may reposition you guys here. Let's get you on the other side. Okay. Got us a real man feeder here. She's out, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. Still go ahead and split the axle now. Yeah. Oh yeah, I needed a lot of cleaning there. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is right here, we'll go ahead and take off this crossbar, get these pins out of here, turn these upside down. Let's try to remove the yokes. Make it a lot easier to clean, and that way we can inspect for wear, and if we need to put bushings in there, we can. Let me go ahead and get set up, and we'll come back. Alright. Alright, cross member is off. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take out these zerks as well. I had issues getting grease in one of them. I think it was this one. So we'll go ahead and replace them. Zerks are cheap, and we're going to do a rebuild on this machine anyways. So why not? The process is we'll take those out, and we should be able to loosen these up and draw these whole spindles out. Alright, those are loose. What's the chances of these coming out? All my bedding people out there for that. And this one will be the center one. Oh, hey, we're 4 for 4 here. Doing good. Alright. With any luck, we got a broken loose. Okay. Okay. I need to go ahead and get this one all the way out, and then we can. Be really close. We are out. Look at that. Awesome. Let's do it for the other one. There's our stubborn one, guys. She went a little bit. We might be able to get a little heavier hammer. Okay, we've got about 1/4 of an inch. she wants to go. We've got to get a little lubrication in there. Well, if I have some white lithium grease, I don't know if that'd help. The other thing we can do is heat up that frame. Help. Well, let me do some thinking and let's come back to this. Alright, I got her out. I ended up beating it back through enough to where the ledge was just up there and put a little bit of oil on there and then heated it up and then was able to get a bigger hammer and got it out. So, both of the yokes are out. Down to the axle. Look at that. Ready to be cleaned up. Nice. Cool. Yeah, we're getting down there. Come back over and look at our wonderful tractor here. Transmission. That's got to come out. That's the next thing. And I just don't know. So anybody who's worked on these knows right in here, the bolts are so close to the cross member that they are just, it's really hard to get any kind of a wrench on. Might be able to do it now. The other thing I'm willing to try is going ahead and putting a puller on this, and if I think that if I can pull the sprocket off, I should be able to unbolt the transmission right there, and that may be good enough. We're going to need to fix this cross member regardless, but at least with that out, the bulk of the weight's out, and I should be able to at least maybe run over to my parents and get the torch and cut those bolts out. So, anyways, yeah, I don't know what all it's going to take to get this one out. I might clean this up a little bit. I really need to get some penetrating oil. It actually has keeper rings, so that might come out fairly easily. Yeah, so that's what we'll have to do. I need to get some penetrating oil though. So let's tinker and see what we got. Maybe I'll clean up my tools. That'd be a good thing to do. Alright, did a little shop maintenance here. Got this thing back up in the air. So I'm looking at this. From what I can tell, alright, so there's this plate that runs across here, and with this flange here, I believe that that's all one piece. I'm going to clean it up and check. And if that's the case, then that means that that's a long shaft that comes through there, which makes sense. And to get this off, on the front here, there's actually 3 Allen wrenches, set bolts. And that'll remove that outer shroud. And then as far as the internal one, I'm not sure about just yet. So we're going to probably have to get this all cleaned up really good, get it soaking with something, and see if we can get that off. I guess that's where we'll go. So give it a try. Alright, I found an Allen key that fits. So let's see if we get lucky by chance. Oh yeah. There's one. Okay. There's 2. Cool. I don't believe there's one in that one. are. Keep coming. Cool. Alright, let's give it a little more lube. Now, if my pullers weren't all out in the shed, I would put a puller on there and it'd probably come right off. Well, let's see if we can get her like this. She's close. Let's try an impact hammer here. Getting there. It's just a bunch of gumminess behind it. We just got fumes left in our can, by the way. Close, people, close. There it is. Alright, she's out. Cool. Alright, now front seal is definitely leaking. Not a big deal. We will get her all cleaned up. There's the half moon. All right. So in theory, I should be able to loosen up or take out these 4 bolts here, and there's a seal in here, but it should go ahead and go through. Then we should be able to get the transmission out, and that'll definitely free up room to where we can get everything else taken care of off this. The goal is I'd like to get as much off it as possible. That way we can clean it up and you know, start the restoration on it here. So yeah. All right, let me get the tools together and see if we can get these backed off. All right, let's see where we're at here. Got the other 3 bolts out. This will be the last one, hopefully holding it in. What I can see. Alright. Cool. She's free. Okay. So somebody has welded a cross brace in here, and it is not looking like it's going to want to come out very freely with that in there. Okay. Think, guys, think. Who's got ideas? So this front seal, I think that if I can get it out, I'll have enough room to maneuver it around. Yeah, the front just is not going to be enough room there. Yeah, so we're going to have fun with this. We should be able to do it. I think that if I could just get this seal to come out this way, it'll give us enough room to finagle it out there. Oh, she's so close, too. Okay, so it's bearings that are in there, actually. So what I'm going to do is there's actually an adjuster at the back here. I'm going to go ahead and take out the adjuster, and I think that with the adjuster out, I should be able to slide it right on out. It's so dang close. Alright, let's find a couple of wrenches. Oh yeah. Well, this cross member is broken already. You know what? Executive decision time. Let's get our cutting wheel. Let's just cut that sucker out. close. You know what, people, I think we're far enough through. Oh yeah. So we'll have to look through. If anybody knows if that's original or not, let me know. But as for now, it gets to be fixed. Let's pull a transmission. Oh yeah, there we go. Like that, she's out. Awesome. Whew. Making progress. Alright guys, so I think we're at a good stopping point here for today. We accomplished our goals. We wanted to get the transmission out and up onto the table. And the frame is stripped down far enough. Still got some things to strip off of it. It's light enough now that I can throw it in the back of my truck and take up to parents' house and just use a torch and cut bolts and stuff off of it. I don't want to pry on it too much because of the broken bracket. I need to try to maintain that as much as possible because I'm going to have to do some welding and stuff on it. So, but yeah. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we'll go ahead and cut the video off here. Next video, we'll go ahead and go through this transmission. I'd like to get it all taken apart and cleaned up and assess the damage in there, if any. And we'll go ahead and probably start the restore process right here. And then once we have this all back together or taken apart to a point where if we need to order parts, we're ordering parts. What we'll do is we'll probably come back to this, finish this up. And then I'm hoping that we'll get a good day here when I can get out the wire wheels and stuff and start cleaning parts. Right now it's just plain nasty outside and I don't want to fill my shop full of dust and everything. So that's kind of where we're at. So looks like what we'll do is we'll get the frame repaired, restored first in conjunction with the transmission. Transmission looks like it's going to have to go in first. Then we'll go ahead and get the rear end gone through and put the rear end back in. And then I think with those, then we can start with the front and start putting levers and stuff back on. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Lots of parts cleaning ahead. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comments, please leave some. And again, if you have one of these units and maybe it has that cross brace holding up the transmission, there's actually two cross braces. There's one holding up the transmission and the one for the transmission, or for the rear end. I'd like to know if those are original or not. They're welded in there, so I'm kind of not sure about that. Everything else is bolted. So, like I said, we cut that out to get this out. That seemed like the most logical thing because it was already broken. So let me know, because if I need to fabricate in a new bracket, I definitely need to do that. And I probably will regardless, just because of the amount of drag that the thing has. So again, thanks for watching the video, and until next time, take care.